Hello. Is anybody there right now? How you doing? I got off to a weird start on this today. Oh, is the sound okay? Is the video okay? And everything's good to go. Hey, Goldfinger, what's up? Now, I've had one of those super busy mornings, and it's really good. Tim, what are you doing in Scotland? There's nothing there but golf and haggis. Hey, Ecklo, Elko, what is that? Video is okay as well. Thank you. Hey, Goldfinger, what's up? Ready for liftoff? Okay, Equus. You know what I see coming. Here's a an unsolicited prediction. I see two great splits in a watch collection, and that's one of the things going on. Oh, golf and scotch. I'm sorry. What was I thinking of, Tim? I should have known I golf. Okie doke. Well, anyway, whoops. There we go. That was one of the things that I I've been concerned about is that right now there are lots of little splits. In other words, there's formal versus this. There's all different kinds of little things going on in terms, but I think a great big split is coming because the I think there's going to be really one is more traditional horology, and the other one is having more consistent timekeepers. Hi, Michael. How you doing? Oh, San Diego. Turn in from San Diego. How? Whoa. Let me see. It's pretty early there. Yeah, that's my old. I lived in San Diego for 15 years. Loved it. I left a lot of friends there when I had to leave when I run out of town. Um, no, San Diego is love San Diego. Still have friends there. Every now and then we have these little video meets. Oh, it is. I'll tell you one thing. We have well, we got snow right now. Things are looking. I mean, the snow is in a clear day, so it'll take. We're having a San Diego day today, except it's 23 degrees. Other than that, it's exactly the same, and we don't have a beach where we live. Okay, doke. What's on your mind with watches, everybody? What is something that you think is worth talking about? I saw this thing that from R. Crumb, Mr. Natural, saying the whole world is insane, and I thought, oh, it's not just for watch collectors. So I'm glad to know that. Okay, let's talk just for the heck of it about certain types of watch collection. Some people like sports watches. Some people like formal watches. Some people like field watches. Some people like chronographs. Some like chronometers. Some like hand wound. Some like um, automatics. What is your favorite kind of watch? Let me start off. I mean, in terms of the type of watch, this is my favorite type. It's a time only hand wound watch. This is my Etude number one. So let's see. Tell me about your favorite watch or your favorite watches, your favorite kind of watch. How hard is it to navigate your first watch auction? Do you go with someone who has prior experience? Oh, that's a good question, Michael. Um, it depends on the auction. Now, the auction houses I like the big ones. Um, I like Sotheby's, I like Christie's, and I like Phillips. Those are the three big ones, at least according to me. There are a lot of other ones. Um, and so you you have that. On the other hand, going to a watch auction to buy a watch, they have a lot of other ones, Catawinky or something like that. Um, and they have another one. It's sort of interesting. It's sort of like the train wreck auction. It's called, I think, when the federal government or somebody makes a big raid and they get all these drug kings and they grab all of their Rolexes and all of their watches and they turn around and sell them. And they have auctions too. Thing about an auction, though, as a buyer, I bought one watch from a big auction, and it's the problem with auctions for buying is that they have what they call a premium. Premium, what a name! A premium is simply a gouge, about 25%. Now, granted, auctions got to make some money, otherwise, why bother having them? And there is a lot of work that goes into having a good auction. And the other thing about auctions, I find as a very rare buyer, is that you can find things there that you can't find anywhere else. A lot of times, someone will have a really good but unusual watch, and they'll take it to an auction simply because there's a bigger audience for the kind of watch that they have. But man, I tell you, as a buyer, I'm not crazy about them. As a seller, I love them because they don't charge me anything, and people go nuts. I sold a Vacheron Content 10 1972, I think is what it was called, 72 or 74. And I thought, man, I'm going to have a hard time selling this because I got a good buy on it when I originally bought it. I ended up with double what I paid for it at selling at an auction. So I like to sell, nervous about buying. Tim, a durable dress watch. Yeah, I like those too. I guess it's sort of a dress watch. It can be a lot of different things. Some of the guys got these Ming bracelets. These are really nice bracelets. They're expensive, but they're really nice, and they're sort of for generic. And one of the things that I found out, I was thinking of, well, what watch am I going to put it on? Originally, I was thinking, well, I'll put it on my FP Journe Chronomet Souverain, but then I thought, well, somebody said, and I've heard this before, steel against platinum or gold isn't a good idea because steel is harder. Um, I I have it does make sense to me. I mean, in a strictly metallurgical wait metallurgy sense. Okay, here is a 2-bit discovery I had. This is my recently purchased um, Moritz Grossmann. Okay, wonderful, wonderful watch, and it has these little green indexes on it. It's sort of a green watch, and it has green loom-like stuff in the hands. It's like really a type of ceramic, green ceramic in it. Okay, and then it has a black strap with green piping or green stitching in it. And so I thought, boy, I really like this combination. But then I found out something. I went to the Moritz Grossmann site, and it's the only site I can think of that I've ever been to where all of the watches are gaiter straps. Gaiter are leather, and I think they may have some textile straps, but they had no bracelets. And so I thought, wow, I'll have the world's very first Moritz Grossmann with a with a bracelet, and these are nice bracelets. See, this would be my oops. Let's see if I can put it right like that. That would be the world's first Moritz Grossmann with with a bracelet instead of a strap. Okay, enough of that. Okay, what else you guys have? I like Daytonas and Submariners, Perronai and Cartier. Okay, now those are brands. What type of watch do you like? Now that you have a let's see, a Daytona is a chronograph. The Submariner, sort of I guess a sports watch. Panerai can be a lot of things, and Cartier is usually a dress watch. How you doing, Jean-Luc? Love to say that, Jean-Luc. Is that close to correct? How are things in Zurich right now? Okay, Marcelo, you like your Daytona Le Mans. Sounds like a nice watch. Oh, okay, Michael. I hope that is helpful. You know, the thing to do, Michael, is to go to one of the auction houses, one of the big auction houses, like Sotheby's, like Phillips, or like Christie's. Sign up. It doesn't take much. You don't have to do anything more than to sign up. And then go and then look at what they have and see what they have for the prices that they're estimating, and then take a look at see some of the sale prices. You'll see there are two numbers. There's one price is called the hammer price, and the hammer price is what somebody bid on the watch with, and they won the bid. So the hammer price, let's say, is $10,000. They got it for $10,000, and then there's the price, which is $10,000 plus another $2,500. So a $10,000 hammer price means a $12,500 price. Take a look at it. Hiya, Brian. Hey, Brian, do I have a schmo for you, Brian? I don't know. That's the trouble with talking to old guys. Oh, hi, Alriza. How you doing, man? Ali. Hey, Caesar. Bobo. Caesar, are you on an airplane or in an airport? Where are you? It's sort of Caesar. You're going to become like the new Where's Waldo? Where's Caesar? Hey, Bobo. You like Kari Boot and Lana. His stuff too. I love the Vinge 8. I really, really like it. Hi, Glio. How you doing? I prefer sports watches. I'm not a big fan of dress watches. Yeah, well, that's too bad. You're getting three of them, I think. You're going to have an incredible two that you're going to be up for, Brian. Yeah, sports watches. Yeah, you like those sports watches when you go to those, the cage fights and things like that, I bet, right? Hey, Allie. Oh, don't punch Ali. Okay. I already got punched with reality that by having a 4,000 I can't buy watch that Bill approves. Well, I wouldn't worry about my approval at all, Ali. Hey, Jean-Luc. Great weather over here. It feels like spring, but I'm looking forward to receive my Piece Unique Philippe Poulic watch in the next few weeks. Yeah, he has beautiful stuff. Okay, Brian, I can see why you could. It's not a place to take your dandy. Well, I don't know. Maybe that big old dandy will bop somebody in the head with that. I remember you once had a small AP you didn't like and regretted. Which was it? Oh, my small AP. I think it was probably a Jules or something like that. Um, it was, let me say something about the watch. It was small for me. It had a moon phase. It had a bunch of stuff, and it worked beautifully. It's a beautifully running watch. There were other, I mean, a whole lot of other things about it. Uh, the size, this, that, and so forth. I didn't care for, but it wasn't because it was a poor. It wasn't because of poor horology. It was just a poor fit between me and the watch. So that was all. That was nothing wrong with the watch. So it was a very nice watch. It just was like the wrong one for me. Have you ever had a watch that it's good for everybody or a lot of people, and so you get it and it just doesn't work for you? I is sometimes, the watches that work for everybody are watches you hate. Somebody else says, "Oh, this is the greatest one. This is the greatest watch ever." Hey, Quarter Eye, how you doing? That's how I became a participant. I told them I had a dandy. Oh, oh, you're talking about watch collectors being insane. What Brian is talking about, he and I have this wonderful watch called a Chaumet Dandy Arty Open Face. It's this wonderful watch, and it's beautiful. I mean, as a piece of men's jewelry, it is very few can make cases like Chaumet. I mean, it's Chaumet and Van Cleef and Arpels, Harry Winston, the real tip-top jewelry makers. But what makes this watch so unique? Um, I have no idea what they were thinking, but boy, I tell you, they were thinking something to make something really cool. So they put in this where the second hand had gone. They put in a Ferris wheel. All right, there's this famous Paris Ferris wheel, but not only that, they then went to Agenor, and Agenor made them a special module with dual Agenais gears in them, and then you have this wonderful, smooth, flowing thing. But you wear a watch with a name like a dandy, a Chaumet dandy, which, I mean, that was sort of like, oh, I got my G-Shock dandy. It just it's something. It's a wonderful watch. So I mean, and it's got patent leather strap. It's one of my favorite watches. Just they're great. They're very hard to find. By the way, Brian, I don't know if I told you about it. I met another guy, um, who, and he has one. He loves it the same way we do. It's not for everybody, but you have to have. I tell you that between just the knowledge of here's the same company that made the guard on Napoleon's sword. I mean, just like the history of Chaumet, and they made stuff for kings and emperors and things like that. And so we got a watch, and it's called a dandy. Uh, you have an opinion on the Schwartz Etienne Roma synergy? The hand wound movement looks very intriguing. Quarter eye, that is a great watch. Now there's two types. Okay, this is what Schwartz Etienne did. They have this movement, and they have two cavities. Okay, now when you have two cavities about the same size, what you're expecting, uh, dual barrels or something else. Well, they have a choice. You can either have dual barrels, or you can have one barrel and then in the other cavity have a micro rotor. Okay. Now, so that's sort of a cool way to think about it. But the thing I like is with the dual barrels, because when they put in dual barrels, they put them in parallel. Very hard to find a really nice watch with dual barrels in parallel. And I'm not sure if the Roma model has it, quarters high, but that's something you want to check out. Oh, and yeah, it is a hand wound movement. It not only intriguing, it's like a really fine piece of horology. Hey, Goldfinger, again. Hi, Ariza. What do you think about Baltic watches? They just released a new watch with Art Deco designs. You know, one thing about Baltic, I like the designs of them. I don't know much about the movements in them, no, Allie. Hey, Michael. I've been more and more interested in retrograde complications, specifically the Chanel incredible jumping hour watch with retrograde movement. That is stunning. I don't blame you. I've got one. I love that watch. Michael Kalb and I both got one, and both of us had to send it in for repair. It's really funny. We both got one, and then we found out that the jumping what is it? Here you had this retrograde minute hand. The old minute hand go bam bam. It was working great, but every now and then it would forget to jump the hour, and so you're looking at your watch, and it was 2 hours later, and it's still on the same hour. So I got a hold of the Chanel outfit in New York, and I said, "Could you fix my watch?" They sent it to Switzerland. Switzerland then sent it back to some outfit here, some Chanel-owned horological outfit here, and they sent it back. They didn't charge me a penny. Now, this was not a brand new watch by a long shot, but they did a beautiful job. They said it would take 6 months. It probably took 2.5 months. And they said, you know, you can either come and pick it up at our shop in New York, or we can ship it to you. I asked, ship it to me. You know, it's like saved me a 3-hour train trip going into the city. Anyway, I can't say enough good things about the Chanel jumping hour retrograde. You know, part of the design is by Romain Gauthier. The movement parts are from the Gauthier Atelier. I mean, that watch is just everything. And they have one of my favorite types of case material. They call it beige gold. Now, the one I got is white gold, but I like it too. But the beige gold is really pretty. Some people refer to it as a straw gold. It's really just a gorgeous gold. Okay, enough about enough about the Chanel. Okay, what's going on here? Let's see. Yeah, that thing is amazing. Hey, Caesar again. Jean-Luc Carly. Kari? You don't like Kari Vuitton-Lannon. Okay. Yeah, well, I'll have to tell you about that someday. Have you seen the Nomos Orion in automatic with the DUW in-house? There's this phrase again, but for less than 3,000. Wow. You know, I like their entire DUW line, Bobby. I really do. I wouldn't worry about Nomos has very, very nice watches. I even like their Alpha watches. I mean, their Alpha movements, which are apparently they're sort of their version of Pazu 7001. So, I mean, I like those. By and large, I like Nomos, but it's a kind of thing that is it's a kind of watch that would probably not. I don't find well. There's the Lambda. I do the Lambda. Oh boy, that one's got a beautiful. That's a honey of a watch, but for the most part, it's too Bauhaus for me. Only 300 of those Chanel watches made. Yeah, they from the day they came out, I wanted one. I couldn't afford it. I have $40,000, but I don't. Not without also affording a divorce lawyer, but other things like that. what happened when I got that was really funny. I had some money from some watches I sold at auction, by the way, and I was trying to buy a oh, wait a minute. No, that's another thing. I'm trying to remember. I forgot how I got that watch, but anyway, I found it. There's a store, in fact, it was in San Diego, down around Chula Vista, I think, that was advertising online, and they had one, and they had it at a great price. So I negotiated a little better price and bought it. And like I said, I had it for couldn't have been a month or so when I started having that problem with it. Chanel took care of business from soup to nuts on that. And so it's like getting a new watch for the price of a pre-owned one that had I don't know how they fixed it up. Somebody must have fixed it up temporarily because it worked fine when I first got it, and then it started skipping the jumping hours. Then they sent it back. Uh, Chanel did. Man, I tell you, if you have one of those watches, Chanel watches. By the way, too, let me say something about Chanel watches. They're very interesting. The Monsieur is a great watch, but they also have the J12. Now, the latest J12 that Chanel has they have two. They have the guy's version and the women's version, but they're really pretty much the same. One's black, one's white. If you like a white one, that I think they felt that was more for the women. They would like that more than black, but who knows? But they have a Kinesi movement in them called I think it's called a 12.1, Kinesi 12.1. And the relationship, and that's based on a Tudor M something or other, MT. Wait, or what is it? Yeah, MT, manufacturer Tudor. But it doesn't look like that. The design of the movement on the J12 is really to me that's a really nice kind of sort of general sporty watch. I say with the ISH on it because it has sort of the sports watch look to it. A lot of them they may have a lot of ceramic in it. And I don't know how well ceramic would go with being a sports watch. Hi, Bromtonat. How you doing? And my monsieur is also white gold. Oh, wow. The seller from Japan removed the alligator strap. Okay. So I brought it to Chanel to get a new strap. They told me they are sorry about sights. Yeah. Mine was in San Diego, so I bought it from there, so it didn't go through any kind of thing like that. Let me tell you what I would do, Bromtonat. Look up Jean Rousseau, okay? Get it from the New York store and have them make one for you. And they do this one, by the way. I got this shiny gator I got for my Larique is from Jean Rousseau. And they did a beautiful job. I mean, in fact, when I was going to put my metal bracelet on there, but I like this strap too much. The original strap, by the way, too, don't toss your original straps out. The original strap that we had put on this watch was pure leather, and so cowhide. So there was no problem about sights at all, and that was why we did it that way. And so, if I ever, which I don't plan on doing, if I ever sold this watch, what I'd do, I'd take off my gator strap, put on the leather one, and it would be like having a brand new strap on it. And it's also a Larique stamped watch. I mean, watch band. So yeah, it's to me having one of those is really great. And two, let me say something else, Brompanot. If you have problems with it, take it right into Chanel, and they'll take good care of you. If you're in New York, they have 3, I think, boutiques just in the Fifth Avenue area, and one of them is for Chanel service. And if you go in there, there are these two big muscle-bound guys who look dangerous at the door. You walk through them, and then they take you up to the sixth floor, and then this woman shows up. Man, she knows her stuff. She takes really good care of you. So if you ever need service, if it ever runs into the problem that that I and Michael had, that's the way to take care of it. Okay, the 2019 IWC tribute to Paul Weber. Allie, that is a wonderful watch. I love that watch. It's like it's really a beautiful watch. It's also, isn't it really sort of looked like they use a thick enamel with that too. That's a gorgeous watch. Hey, Truman, how you doing? DUW 6101 is a good movement. Thank you. The offer from Chanel came in at 200. Only CHF 200, which is crazy low. However, it didn't come back yet. Okay, now is that for the strap? 200 for a new leather strap for your Chanel? That's great. I agree. Now, see, this is a funny thing. For most people, $200 for a strap is saying, that's pretty fancy strap, even a bespoke strap. There's a guy up in Canada who makes these great straps. The company has this name called, I think it's called Combat Straps or something like that. I don't know where he got that. I guess he figured that, well, that sounds good for, the certain sports watch crowd. I don't know. But they have really good buys on straps from him. For any of the any of the Frederic Piguet 1185 lovers, there's a Chopard St. Moritz chronograph listed on Chrono 24 for only online for 3,100. HRM, what is what's the size of the case on that one? Do you know? Yeah. Yeah, I think Michael, I agree that beige gold is just gorgeous. I think Claude Melon Tortue will be a great deal someday. They are marketed as women's watches, but they look incredible. HRM, that's a good point. There are some women's watches that are just over the moon. They really are. That a lot of the ones that Jean, not John Clark, Jean-Marc Viderec did. He did them for like Van Cleef and Arpels. There's a famous one of these lovers going over the bridge and things like that. The Star-Crossed lovers. That one. That thing won an award. It was, I mean, easily. I'll put it that way. Yeah, those are some women's watches. There are a lot of women's watches I think are really have some interesting horology in them. Truman, I'm more into Hermes and their Vaucher movements and the excellent supple Hermes straps. Yeah, their watch straps are really nice. They're also one of those expensive watches. If you think their watches and their straps are expensive, you ought to see their handbags. You don't think, good grief. Hey, Abdul, how you doing? What are we discussing today? Whatever we feel like. What do you want to discuss, Abdul? Take care, Brian. Thanks for dropping by. St. Moritz chronograph is 38 millimeters. Wow. That does sound like a good buy. That sounds like a nice one. It's also Chopard is awfully nice too. Okay, whoa, we sort of burned up a more time than I realized. Anyway, guys, listen, I suspect, Chopard will make Alpine Eagle chronograph sometime down the line. They may. I'm not a chronograph fan, but, I know that people like them. Um, that's cool. Anyway, guys, listen, gotta run. Thanks for dropping by, and especially unannounced. Take care. Okay, one more question from Allie. I got a question I always forget to ask. Okay, what do you think about Wimp and Boucher watches and what movements they use? The Wimpy has one watch I've seen that I like, but I think they just use ETA movements and stuff. I don't know about Boucher. Uh, didn't Boucher buy THA, which was a I don't know what kind of company it was, a watch guy company that was formed by F.P. Jorn, um, Vianney Halter, and somebody else way back in the early 2000s, I think. And then they sort of kept, I mean, they made some really interesting movements. I saw one, for example, in a Cartier um, movement that they had. So I don't know. They could do stuff with that. Okay, guys, take care. Have a great day. And see you in the funny papers.